What you need to know about Kenyan zebra skinks before you buy. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Kenyan zebra skinks, and not just why they make such awesome pets, but we're also going to talk about why they might not be a good fit for you, because when researching any reptile, you need the bad along with the good. It might not jive with your particular lifestyle, so let's get right into it. So I think the first thing that we really need to do is address the fact that there really isn't enough information out there for Kenyan zebra skinks. I mean, just take a look at this. There's literally only a few videos out there really just showcasing people's Kenyan zebra skinks, and a lot of these videos don't have anything to really even do with a Kenyan zebra skink. It's just that it has the name skink in it. We're gonna try to fix that one step at a time. So let's talk about baby zebra skinks. Absolutely adorable. One of the most adorable baby skinks that you could possibly own. However, that quickly fades once they get to adulthood. I'm not gonna say that they get ugly, but they get ugly. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I love my adult zebra skinks. They are adorable in their very own way, which is a so ugly, they're beautiful kind of way, if you understand what I'm saying. In any case, they definitely grow out of that little cute, adorable phase and get up to their adulthood. But just know, if you do get a male zebra skink, that zebra is going to lose its stripes. They're going to get an orange belly with the gray back, and it'll be completely unrecognizable except for the shape of the skink as it was when it was a baby. Now let's start off on some positives now that we got the ugly from the good, bad, and ugly out of the way. Kenyan zebra skinks not only are a social species, but they are absolutely incredible when it comes to handling. With that being said, as with all reptiles, they have to be introduced to handling early on and consistently through their life in order for them not to be crazy skittish when you first pick them up. So if you're going straight to an adult and not getting a baby, skipping the process, that adult might be a little bit more skittish than what you are expecting, as should be expected with any reptile you get that's an adult and you don't know how the previous owner consistently interacted with it. But I think for the most part we can say that Kenyan zebra skinks, extremely handleable, extremely friendly, extremely social. That is one of the best selling points for a zebra skink in my opinion. They are way more handleable than a fire skink, and I would say a little bit less handleable than a Schneider skink. So with all that said, if your intention is to get a super handleable skink, look no further. Kenyan zebra skink will do wonders for you. However, let's hit real quick on diet. These skinks are pigs. They eat a lot and they eat often. Now, we put stress and emphasis on this because a lot of people don't like having a lot of live insects in their house. With baby skinks, adult skinks, they're going to eat you out of live bugs frequently. Absolutely love live bugs, whether it be crickets, whether it's dubia roaches, mealworms, superworms, it doesn't matter. They absolutely love live insects, and it would be an absolute shame not to have that as part of their diet regularly. So if you're someone who doesn't want to deal with live insects, this is probably not the species for you. And then just expanding a little bit further on that, this is definitely not a care guide, so we're not going to go over everything that you can feed them. You don't always have to do live insects, although I absolutely require it as part of their diet. You can also work in some bluey buffet and some grub pie and some other options that are not live fed, but live insects are definitely a requirement of their diet, and there's no way around it. So let's quickly hit on temperature and humidity. Pretty easy to keep up with, not too terribly difficult. You're going to have one side of the enclosure that is humid. I kind of make a half bioactive humid side for mine, as you can maybe see in the background, and the other side is the dry hot side. I do mist them once in the morning and once at night, only on the humid side. That's where we keep the water, and that way they have plenty of access to hydrate as well as get over into that hot dry side in the event that they do not want the humidity. So it is a little bit of a balancing act, nothing too terribly difficult. I would say that with a little bit of research and a little bit of testing, most people will do it without issue. So we won't fit that into the bad category. That's really just in the middle. Just know what you're doing, do your research, figure out how to keep that humidity on one side and dry on the other side. It doesn't have to be high. You just need to have the humid hides available for them in case they need it. And let's talk really quick about daily fresh water. These zebra skinks, much like the fire skinks, they will not go 4 hours with a clean bowl of water. Forget about it. Every 4 hours or less, that water bowl is going to be full of dirt. It's going to be full of whatever substrate you're using. It's going to just be awful. And you're going to have to probably change it multiple times a day to keep it fresh, to keep it clean, to keep it sterile. They keep you working to make sure that their water bowl is clean. I would say the maintenance of a Kenyan zebra skink is probably a little bit higher than most, only because you do have to clean that water bowl pretty frequently, as well as feeding them live insects and bugs. They will pound those bugs, they will eat a lot of them, and they'll eat them all the time. As far as temperature for basking, UVB of course is required, all the general stuff there. Again, not a care video, we're not going to get into the specifics, but pretty streamlined, easy. But I think one of the other things we want to hit on is it being a social species. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we can automatically assume that they're going to be able to live together in a colony and never fight and be happy-go-lucky every time you come down to look at them? Absolutely not. As with every social species, there's always that chance and opportunity for two of them not to get along. And that goes for colonies of Kenyan zebra skinks from baby all the way up to adult. Another thing you got to factor is if you are feeding live insects, if one of those Kenyan zebra skinks has a cricket and the other one wants it, the other one's going to try to get it. And that doesn't always lead to a happy ending for either of those skinks. Coupled with the fact that some of them might get food aggressive, they might get aggressive when you put the food in, so you might have to separate some of the food so they all have somewhere different to go in the enclosure. And when you talk about getting into adults, when you have a male and a female, or a male and two females, you need to understand that the male can get pretty aggressive when he's trying to breed. He will grab her by the neck. He'll grab her by the tail to get her to stop running from him. He'll grab her by the leg, and I have seen some pretty horrific pictures of one of the males will grab the female by the leg and just won't let go, and it ends up with some pretty nasty gashes in their legs. Or one of my pair of adults, the male did grab on to my female's hind leg and actually broke it. And we had to take it to the vet and get that all worked out. And I'm going to tell you, it is extremely expensive to take your reptiles to a vet. So you want to do everything you can. Make sure you're watching out. Make sure you keep an eye on them if you're cohabbing them. Doesn't matter if it's a social species or not. If you are cohabbing reptiles, you need to keep a very close eye on them, or you could find yourself at the vet paying hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to fix an issue. And you can pick up a Kenyan zebra skink for around $125. That's what we sell our babies for. Some people sell them a little bit less, some a little bit more. If you're trying to buy adults, you're probably going to look at that $200 to $250. One vet visit is going to cost more than that. So please keep an eye if you are socializing and keeping them in a group, or keeping them in pairs, or keeping them in trios. Keep a close eye on them. Make sure no fights break out. And if need be, have a spare enclosure in case you need to separate them. Hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about the Kenyan zebra skink. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Help us out if you enjoyed the content, and we will see you in the next one.